Hello, this is Dr. Lewerenz at Longevity Health Institute. Hope this finds you well this evening. Thought I'd share a little patient case story with you in my practice, and actually how you can see out there and share with others how a functional personalized wellness approach to medicine and to your health and to your loved ones and others that can really impact even down to cardiac health and longevity, as well as thriving and not just, as I say, always surviving. So we had a patient actually here, and he was here on follow-up. That's why it's kind of reminiscent and acutely in my brain, that came to us very sluggish, tired, not really getting through the day at a vigor, usually 3, 4 o'clock crashing. He was in his mid-50s, happy marriage, happy family, good job, a lot of work, 40, 50 hours, but pretty typical. Felt like he slept good, diet pretty good, maybe ate a little bit late at night, some struggling weight issues. But he just wasn't getting answers with his internist. He saw a cardiologist for some general screening. Also actually had a mild thyroid condition picked up. Saw a couple specialists, saw an endocrinologist, put on Synthroid, a typical thyroid medication. Got some benefits out of that, but no big overall impact. So anyway, he ends up with us about a year ago and doing just okay. And the thing is, and what I find is very interesting, and this is especially in men or in breadwinners of the house, which could be men or women, but if you lack energy, you're affecting yourself and your whole family and loved ones. When you lack energy, you lack motivation, you lack confidence, you lack initiative, and you are typically just getting by. And these are words my patients would use, not my opinion. They lack vigor and stuff, and so they don't have that bandwidth of energy and brain capacity to get things done, whether that's working harder, setting goals in their business or personal life or financial life, and or just even in their family life. They'd rather sit on the couch. They'd rather just kind of struggle, linger through, rather than have that, if you will, that zest for life, something they may have had in their 20s and 30s and that, okay? Now, the thing is, I don't think, and I think most of you out there would agree, your mid-50s, this should not be a time where you're really struggling. It should be a time where you're really enjoying life. You're thriving as far as financially, or at least happy and comfortable. Your family is doing well. Your kids are growing up and potentially having their own families and having jobs and furthering their education, etc. You should be enjoying this, right? Exactly. So it all starts from energy. And let me give you some simplicity because we're talking about this, a middle-aged man and energy. Classic things like this patient we're discussing would be something like low adrenal function. 30 often to 40% of your adrenal function is lost by the time you're into your 50s. Testosterone, you've heard me talk about this, to men's estrogen ratio being in the upper quartile, or at least mid to upper quartile, is very key, because overall you then have not just energy to hit the gym or to have some muscle, if you will, but you're supporting your cardiovascular system, you're supporting your brain. I cannot stress enough that your prefrontal cortex, your part of your brain that has initiative and drive, and that when you have ideas and thoughts and things that motivate you or excite you, the hormone is there to bathe that part of your brain that says, hey, let's wake up, let's do something, let's do this, let's hit these goals, let's make these achievements. And without that, you kind of have a blah, if you would. And I don't think that's a way to live, and most people would choose not to live that way. And often we'll find those same associations to those low levels of hormones, potentially thyroid, your adrenal hormones, testosterone, maybe growth hormone, but all of these then potentially can really impact your quality of life. Now, this gentleman was undertreated for his thyroid. So that was pretty simple. We changed his thyroid from a synthetic form of something called levothyroxine or synthroid to a more desiccated split T3, T4, so he got more of the metabolic effects. And it did help him about 15 to 20% improvement. But when we further cardiovascular screened him, really started to work on his vasculature, which is a whole nother story, and he did pass a stress test, etc., but not waiting for some cardiovascular and vascular disease. He got improvement in erectile dysfunction, he got improvement in his energy, he got lowering of his blood pressure, okay? But by optimizing his energy system and not over physiologically achieving that, that's what's key. It's about personalized approaches to appropriate dosing and upper quartiles of dosing, okay? People feel and do the best. It's a very personalized approach. We're not putting them at risk. They're more healthy, like they're in a, they're mid-range or upper quartile, like I say, of your 30s, if you will, even if you're 50 and 60, okay? But what we will find that person then has energy, has hormonal support to their vascular and cardiac system. They'll want to hit the gym. They'll want to go on walks. They'll want to do things with their spouse and their loved ones. They'll be motivated to go to work and to achieve some goals. They'll have, like I said, prefrontal cortex brain initiative, and all of these things are very important to literally just, hey, let's get off the couch and do something, something, okay? Because you imagine in your mid-50s what it's going to be like at your mid-60s or mid-70s. So I want to explain that to you because I think that there's too much apathy with aging, and as you know, we practice a wellness approach and a personalized approach, but that approach is done so that you can have overall not just health, but also happiness, contentness in your overall lifestyle and life experience. And that's very key. I think it's very, you can't ignore, and we talk about your personal life, when appropriate, and get the details, because it's when people are the most happy and I think are the most healthy. Science shows us your brain, your emotions, and your thoughts, your happiness affects everything down to your genes. Okay, so very, very important. Now, something I also encourage him with, which I think you'll find really interesting, because men and women can do this at any age, is there's something called your actual age from when you're born, and whether that's 40, 50, 60, I'm currently 49, but you can actually do some calculation that's pretty accurate. It's done through a university algorithm in Europe that actually has created some data, and that you can input some data, and this data will actually give you your fitness age. Now, I think that that's very important, because when you talk about fitness age, you talk about cardiovascular fitness age, okay? And this is very important to, before you do any of this or get overzealous about this, that you talk to your doctor, or if you're my patient, we talk about this and that, so you're not over stressing yourself in the gym or exercising or getting heart rates up that are at risk, okay? All our patients are screened, all of them are thoroughly looked at from a cardiovascular and health standpoint, and so I think that that's super, super key, and I don't want to overstress that or state that. But when you look at things like your resting heart rate, your maximal heart rate with exercise, your type of fitness, and that can put into be this algorithm, which I will give you this algorithm and website you can go to and do this yourself. It might be a little depressing, might be motivating. I found myself, when I inputted my data, to be much younger fitness age, a health age, than actually my actual age. So that's very exciting, because I work out, I eat right, I practice what I preach. So my point though here is that this is something that I think is very useful and motivating and a good tool for you to use, okay? But here's the gist of it. When you put in these things related to heart rate and lifestyle, diet, exercise, quantity per week, smoking, not smoking, amount of vegetables, ethnicity, sex, etc., okay, education, okay, mental attitude, these types of data that you put in, you actually can lower your fitness and cardiovascular age by essentially lowering your resting heart rate. Now, what you'll find is the more fit you are, the lower your resting heart rate is. Mine is roughly around 54, 56 beats per minute at rest, okay? But by lowering that, you can actually lower your cardiovascular risk. And studies and cardiovascular studies show that. Mostly that is going to be done through cardiovascular exercises. You've heard me say weight exercises are important too, and weight-bearing exercises. Yoga is important, balance is important, meditation, etc. But when you get your heart rate up 80-90% of your maximum heart rate and you train at that level, you typically will get a more metabolic function, cardiovascular function. You'll reduce your resting heart rate much lower, and that's where you get the big cardiovascular and fitness, actually health benefits, i.e. energy also, okay? So this is really key. Now the website is called worldfitnesslevel.org. You can look that up, you can put your data in, etc. And that will give you your actual age, your predicted VO2 max, which is a fitness, more sophisticated test that you actually have to do hands-on. This is predicted per this algorithm, but I think it's very useful and very accurate and very helpful, okay? Two things. Work on lowering your resting heart rate. You can test it by literally sitting in a chair, laying on the bed, laying on the floor, no caffeine, no stimulation for 10 minutes. Check your pulse, okay? Use a heart rate monitor, use a Fitbit, use a smartphone, etc. Check your pulse. That's your resting heart rate. You can calculate your 80-90% of your maximal heart rate by 220 minus your age, okay, is your maximal heart rate. And these are gross estimates, but essentially when you take out your fitness level, 220 minus your age is your maximal heart rate, and then you can figure out and calculate 80-90% of what would be your higher intensity cardiovascular heart rate that you might want to work on and achieve in segments of your, whether it's walking or treadmill or biking or swimming or running or whatever, okay? The thing though is two things predict actually cardiac events. One is resting heart rate, and two, and these are cardiac studies, is how quick you recover from your 90%, okay, of your maximal heart rate. So you're on a bike, you're on a treadmill, you're running, you're swimming, whatever. Your maximal heart rate that you achieve around 90%, how quickly you can get your heart rate down. Now, if you can achieve a reduction at rest, okay, in your heart rate by 15 beats or more within a minute, actually is very predictive of healthy heart and cardiovascular health. People that cannot reduce their heart rate, and that's heart rate variability, very quickly, so meaning their heart rate's 180 at 90% their maximum, or 170, and they go that for 30 seconds and they're going to pass out, not literally, and they're exhausted, and now they slow down, go to a walk, go to a lower spin, etc., and their heart rate only reduces 10 points in a minute. They may want to look into what's going on with them cardiac-wise, blood pressure, heart health, vasculature, carotids, etc. Maybe their lungs, something going on cardiovascular-wise. So that's something that can be used. And remember, work on lowering your resting heart rate. Work on and use a doctor that takes a personalized approach, a functional medicine approach, a wellness approach to your hormones and your care, okay, which should be done with care and compassion, okay, and interest in your overall well-being. In this way, you'll have energy. And when you have energy, you can thrive and you can achieve things that only were dreamt of in your teens and 20s and earlier age. And you can achieve all those things in life that you still want to achieve, love the ones you still want to, spend time with, quality time, energy with, etc. And you can be well. And you always hear me say that. Let's be well. So this is Dr. Lewerenz, Longevity Health Institute. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing. And you'll see me again. Take care.